What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the film room. It has been a minute. I was a little under the weather, so couldn't do as much as I wanted to, but we're getting back into it. This edition is covering Xavier Legette. This dude is super interesting because he came out of nowhere, but he does exhibit some refined technique that established wide receivers typically would. There's definitely some inconsistencies in his game, but he shows some really interesting flashes. So let's get into the film and let me show you what I'm talking about. I think this one play here is basically Xavier Legette in a nutshell. He exhibits some nuance, but he lacks some sharpness on that in-breaking route. You see here, he creates good separation at the top of the route, right? Little peak move, but I do think the in-breaking route's not sharp enough. And of course, sometimes it's a speed in, you're trying to just get it, but he does a real good job here with this nuance. You see him leaning outside and upfield, but I'd like to see a little bit more throttle down, and it doesn't even need to be a throttle. It could really just be a jab step inside, but he kind of really just bends this route like a banana. I like the manipulation movement, but he almost takes the route too far upfield. I think he should be cutting inside a little bit sharper and then creating himself more space after the catch. No target here, but he does a great job of decelerating with losing no forward movement and throttling down there. While I think Legette offers something after the catch, I don't think he's super smooth in transition. I think he's got to get in here. Little drag route. Pretty good ability to fight through contact. Good contact balance there. You see him just drifting across the front. Good ability to stay up. But he's a little clunky after the catch. Legette really does do a good job with manipulation movement. You see there how he just kind of leans inside with a shoulder fake. See it again here. First of all, you can see him selling an upfield route here. You see him leaning up, but then he's going to hit this shoulder fake to even drive it home. Right there. And you see how that freezes the defender. Creates that separation. Easy catch. Another example of really good route technique with some manipulation movement through the route. And he goes up, gets that thing. And this is a really, I don't know if it's an underrated part of Legette's game or not, but he has incredible hands. This guy goes up and gets it. He is high pointing the ball often. He does have a really smooth release. It's not great, but he hits that shoulder fake inside again, and I really like that. I like that he exhibits manipulation movement during the route, because to me, it means you can create for yourself. You can create separation for yourself, but definitely leave something to be desired from a release perspective. So this play, for example, you just got to see better releases than this. It's just clunky. That's not deceiving anybody. That's not dynamic. Nobody's faked out by that. It's just a single side step, back step release. It's not efficient. There's nothing good about that. So the release is something he definitely needs to work on. Here's another example of Legette high pointing the ball. I mean, he's going to go up and get it. So there's a lot going on here in this route, but another great example of him high pointing the ball will start there with something good. Really great concentration. You can't undersell that. You really can't just teach ball skills like that. That's natural. What you hopefully can teach and develop is avoiding contact through the route, which he doesn't do a great job of, and the release. But I think through the stem of the route and towards the end of the route and at the catch point, Legette is really good. But I think, off release, some of the finer details of route running, he needs to work on and has some work to do. While he's a dynamic athlete, I do think that he leaves something to be desired in terms of yards after the catch ability and elusiveness. Mostly elusiveness. I don't know if he's really that elusive. And I mean, he's a big guy. He's a really big guy. And it also could be between the ears, like a processing thing after the catch in terms of being able to read the field. But I do think that there is something missing from that respect. Here's another rep of Legette high pointing a ball. Again, his ball skills are insane. I mean, he can go up and get it. He's not scared of contact or height. Really just runs up, turns. I mean, he's beaten guys with athleticism, which is what he'll probably do at the next level too. I was actually really impressed with how refined Legette's route technique was, given that he didn't really play much or produce much until this last year. But there's definitely a lot to clean up. Like, he needs to be sharper on this out here too. And I know it's a speed out, but no, he needs to be cleaner at the top of these routes, in my opinion, and not bend these out. And this is back-to-back plays here. Basically the same thing. That's just not going to cut it, in my opinion. So while Legette definitely shows some really intriguing skills, and I do think a team's going to take a shot at him at the next level, probably first or second round, there's a good deal that he still needs to work on, in my opinion. He's a good, not great route runner, which is okay, and maybe he can develop. He definitely seems to have the ingredients to get there. I hope y'all enjoyed this edition of the DU Film Room. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more.